Hi folks, it's Yasmin Baraji from yasminbaraji.com and the creator of Tiny Time Big Results. And thank you for joining me for today's Hangout. This is the Tiny Time Big Results Google Hangout episode 5. And Tiny Time Big Results is all about helping you create the life that you dream of, the business that you dream of, but being able to balance raising your family and building a business. And when you've got tiny time, every minute counts. In each of these Hangouts, I really want to be able to share with you some great ways about how you can power up and fire up your tiny time. Now, today's topic is, excuse me, something that I really felt a pull to talk to you about, basically, after last week's Hangout, rather. And the reason why I really felt a pull was because if you caught last week's Hangout, you'll see that I had Zaina, my little Zuzu, with me. And she was just really crotchety and she was really cranky, and it was really hard for me to actually just stay focused on you and also give her my attention, even though it was only for 15, 20 minutes. And afterwards I hung up and I thought, they probably thought I was really unprofessional, having a baby there and trying to juggle. And maybe you thought that too, that maybe you were thinking, oh, Jasmine, put the baby down or hang up the Hangout. And I was really torn between my desire to do a good Hangout and my desire to obviously look after my baby. And so it got me thinking, and I felt really uncomfortable, and it was that horrible, oh, what will people think of me scenario that was really going through my mind. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it today was I thought, how often do you get like that as well? How often do you think of what people think about me? What will people think, that I'm being unprofessional? Now, at the moment, as you know, I always, I rarely wear my glasses on screen. I'm suffering really badly from hay fever at the moment, so my eyes are just streaming. Makeup is just a no-go because it just all falls off. So this is me being really unprofessional. So what does that really mean? So let's just take a minute and just think about, okay, well, what does being professional mean? And I know that, from having worked in the corporate world for over 12 years, being professional was like the standard that you aspired to. It was the standard that you really wanted people to say about you, that, when you said, what 3 words would you use to describe me? You really hoped that professional would be in there, that it would make the top 3. And yes, in that environment, professional certainly was something that meant that you were a good image, that you were dressed well, that you didn't have BO, or you were able to articulate yourself, you were able to present yourself beautifully, you had done the research, you knew the figures, and so professional had this air about it. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Let me be really clear on that there's absolutely nothing wrong with all of those things, because you are being, you have a good image, you know your stuff. There's nothing worse than talking to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. You look well, you come across really well, you articulate yourself well, you're a good presenter. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But it's when we start thinking about that idea of being professional, and it slowly starts to chip away at who you really are. So what do I mean by that? When being professional, that air of being professional, takes away from your personality and takes away from the uniqueness that is you. So if you ever find yourself in a situation and you're thinking, I'm being really unprofessional, I would love for you just to think about, what does that really mean? What does being unprofessional really mean to you, to your target market? I always think of the example that if you're going to have an interview at a surfing shop, you're really unlikely to go in there with a full suit on, because it's not the right, it's not the right image, because somebody will be looking at you saying, it's a surf shop, dude. What are you doing? And I remember somebody said to me that, oh, you were wearing a big fluffy jumper in one of your videos. I don't think that would appeal to some people. I thought, okay, that's interesting. And again, but I was being very mindful about who my target market is. And they probably would be thinking, God, that jumper looks actually really comfortable. So you have to be thinking about what is appropriate for your market, for your audience, for your dream clients. And it got me when I was thinking about whether, having the baby there was being really unprofessional. There was a part of me that thought, well, actually, do you know what? I'm living what I share with you. I live the fact that I have tiny time. I have 2 children. I really have limited time. When I sit down and, the last week I've been really beating this hay fever, and I just feel like, oh, my eyes are streaming. And one of the days I actually just had to down tools because this eye had gotten so puffy I couldn't even see. And I thought, what are you doing? Your body's obviously telling you something. Stop. But I thought, I am living tiny time, big results. So everything that I share with you, that I live it day in, day out. So hiding that from you is not me being authentic. The baby being cranky, you can all relate to that. Whether your baby is 1 or 10 or 20, they can all be really cranky. So we're living this. So I thought, okay, well, yes, it was a little bit difficult to get my point across. However, I didn't have an alternative. I could have hung up the Hangout, and I did, it was only 15 minutes, but I didn't have somebody that I could just hand the baby over to. So I just had to deal with it and work with what I had. So that was my take on being unprofessional. But what I want to do really today is give you 3 quick tips around how you can stay professional. And professional being the word to describe how articulate you are, how well presented you are, and how you really are walking the walk and talking the talk for your market, for your industry, for your clients, not what everyone else thinks. And that's the first tip that I have for you, is really think about the image that you want for your business, not what you think that you need to fit into other people's ideas, other people's rules. So if somebody said to me, like, okay, well, what are you wearing there, Yasmin? Oh, you're wearing your glasses, or you're not wearing makeup. And I'm thinking, well, do you know what? There's some days, I have to admit to this, there have been some days where actually I do question myself. I go, did I brush my hair this morning? Because genuinely, I've just been busy getting the kids ready, getting them fed, getting little man off to creche, changing nappies, and sometimes I actually do think, did you do that this morning? So yeah, you know what? That's reality, and I know that you appreciate that, because I'm not putting myself up on some pedestal and saying, look at me, oh, my children are all, dressed the minute they get up. I'm not chasing them around trying to get underpants on them or any of that stuff. That's just not true. That's the reality of it. So be really clear about the image that you want to portray, and not about fitting into everything else. With that said, the second tip that I have is, inherently in anything that we do, we need to have that respect for each other. So if the baby had been incredibly cranky and kept crying, I probably would have said, listen, I'm going to have to do this another time because the baby needs me. It's not fair on you, and it's not fair on her. So I'd be respecting you in terms of your time, and I want to make sure that I'm really giving you great stuff that you can use. If you've got an important meeting, you really need to create some boundaries that was going to help you to be able to fulfill that meeting. So when I have my VIP calls, for example, there's no baby inside. She might be with me for a minute, and then I go hand her over to my husband or another member of my family, and that is it. My focus is on you. My VIP clients know that. If I'm doing a call, again, I make sure that I have that boundary put in place. It'll be the rare occasion where the baby will be with me, and in that case, if I really do get focused and think, okay, can I do this? Is this going to be doable? No, we're going to have to reschedule. So respecting others is really, really important, because whilst it's about how we work and about how we want to work in our business and you know, how we structure ourselves, inherently in that is all about the respect for the other person as well. So that's really, really important. And then the third tip I really want to share with you is about being congruent with your own message. What is the message that you're sending out? So for me, it's tiny time, big results, helping you power up and fire up your tiny time. So it's not about the fact that you've got so much to do, but it's about making sure that you're doing the right things, focusing on the right things at the right time to help you get those big results. So I'm being really congruent with my message because these Hangouts tend to be 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the max, because that is my message. I'm thinking I haven't got time to sit here for an hour to, you know, listen to some content. There does come a time when you need to invest more time, but on a regular basis, I want these Hangouts to be something that you can use really quickly and get some benefit from really quickly. So you want to be congruent with your own message. So when you're thinking that, oh, I'm being unprofessional, think about, well, does that fit in with my message? Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is that, you know, I know there's a lot of groups out there that are, say, for example, networking, and there are a lot of groups out there that are springing up that really allow women to bring their babies to that meeting. And that, for them, for that group, is not unprofessional. But if you were to put that into another setting, there would people would say, oh, no, that's crazy, that's unprofessional. So it's got to be congruent with your own message. So those are my top 3 tips, that when you are worried that you're being unprofessional or that people are going to think that you're sloppy or that you're not doing a good job, then I want you to be really clear in your mind around what professional means for you. I still want people to think that I'm being professional in that I'm delivering fantastic content, that I'm communicating in a really clear and simple way, that you're really getting value. But professional for me also doesn't mean that I'm really stuffy or that I am really clear and I don't, you know, I tend to talk to people who email me or are chatting with me on Skype or whatever in the same way that I would talk to, you know, my family, as if, you know, we're friends, and we are friends. You know, we are connecting on this fantastic, you know, online space. So yeah, you know, for me, that's who I am. I want to be able to communicate with you like that. So we're really thinking about, well, what does professional mean for you? Then the 3 top tips, just a quick summary. You know, think about the image that you want to send out there. You know, don't be thinking about the need to fit into other people's rules. Think about how you want to come across. Second tip was making sure that you have that deep, inherent respect for others, as much as the respect that you have for yourself. And then thirdly is be congruent with your own message and make sure that when you're thinking about what professionalism means for you in your business, that it really resonates with you. So yes, I might have the baby in with me, and some days I won't, like today. But I'm being really congruent, and you know, I share the challenges that I might have with my children, with my family, with my tiny time, because inherently that's something that I just can't emphasize enough. I am not on any kind of pedestal saying, look at me, I've got it all sussed. I'm living it day to day. Every day I have the same challenges, but it's things that I've learned that are really helping me just to make the most of the tiny time that I do have, so I can have that business and I can have the life that I want. And if that is something that you would love to get more of, then I would really love for you to join up for the free 10-day challenge that I have on my website at the moment. You see on the screen there, yasminbaraji.com. It's the 5-minute BizMum challenge. And basically for 10 days, every day I'll send you a tip that you can listen to. It'll take you 5 minutes or less, and that you can put into practice. And this school run challenge that I've got going on at the moment has been getting some amazing, amazing results for the people that are taking part. So I would love for you to come over and join up for the 10-day challenge and just see how much you can do with your tiny time as well. Forward to seeing you again on next week's Hangout, and I look forward to seeing you on the School Run Challenge. I've got some great stuff for you. So that's yasminbaraji.com. Sign in 15 minutes, get some other things. So I will talk to you next week. Fantastic week. Talk to you soon. Bye.